until they start getting towards those items. And that's where Old G really kind of thrive, right? Look at across all the teams these guys have played on. A lot of them are very, very good laners, very, very good early game kind of players. And D2 Hustlers, unfortunately for them, they just don't have the heroes or the lanes to be able to enable that for themselves.
We'll see how it all shakes out throughout the course of this game. D2 Hustlers, of course, the one benefit that they do have for their lineup is ridiculous amounts of teamfight. They only really have to worry about the Magnus RP on the other end in terms of massive spells, but they have Ravage, they've got the Static Storm, they have Ember to be able to go in and create chaos. Certainly going to be a very fun game to witness, provided Ember starts off well. We've seen more and more that if Ember gets shut down early, the game just becomes intolerable for this hero. And I don't imagine he loses this lane, right? It's playing against a Riki. Riki has many strengths, regrettably, but laning strength is not one of them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a relatively okay lane for both of the two players, right? Like, once Riki hits 6, he's going to have a little bit of kill threat, and you always have to be careful of a Seb rotation. Like, Seb can just walk towards a power rune and just throw an arrow towards mid, and then if you ever get a connection, then the Ember is going to be dead. But I don't think it's going to be one of those lanes where what we saw earlier today, where it was Death Prophet versus Ember, and it gets to that level 6 mark, and Ember just goes, I have to leave here, boys. So should be okay for Adzantic.
Already off to a better start as he's able to demonstrate some dominance by outclicking Thompson for the bounty rune. So he's like, yeah, I can roll with you. If I can outclick you for the bounty, I can outclick you in the lane. Let's go.
Anybody who doesn't use the auto right clicker that's enabled in the options is they're joking. They're doing themselves a disservice not having the auto right clicker, because in that way it's just all about ping.
I mean, look at it this way. If you don't have it on, right, that means you're playing with training weights. So then when you do enable it, you'll be like, wow, I'm so good. This game is so easy now.
Yeah, guys, I gained 500 MMR just by enabling this one option. You guys won't believe what it is. It's the auto right clicker.
Valve hates this new trick.
That sounds like the sickest bit of content. That's how I can just make another YouTube video. Just be like, you guys will not be able to guess how much MMR I gained from this one simple trick.
So far, it's a nice, slowish early game. Top lane, though, Resolution, taking quite a bit of damage here. Found himself on the receiving end of several decay stacks from Hakoda. Seb was dealing with dragging the wave towards him. Not exactly how Rezo wanted to start his affair here, but so far, everything's okay. It's fine. Everyone's just farming. Yeah, bottom lane's farming as well. Chilling.
Yeah, he showed that he had Shockwave level 1, so that's the kind of best time for them. Oh, Divine Llama.
He's actually dead, yeah. First blood drawn by no one, as they managed to get out all stacks of the Curse of the Furnace. The additional attack speed being more than enough to bring down the Tide Hunter. And unfortunately, that's level 1. Doesn't have access to the Kraken Shell just yet, so no Dispel on the debuff. Not exactly how you wanted to start his laning phase here as a Tide Hunter.
No, and one thing I didn't touch on is the Aphotic Shield just gets rid of the Anchor Smash, right? So the Llama, anytime that they are going to go for these trades, no one can just pop the Aphotic Shield. The extra burst damage is awesome, the magic damage is always nice, but you never have to worry about Anchor Smashing this lane, and Divine Llama.
No, he shouldn't die this time around. He has a Kraken Shell available, but he just came back to the lane, already down to half HP. Doesn't have the gold for the Ring of Health just yet, so gonna have to be spooled some tangos. Game is hard. Mid lane though, game is, as you mentioned, just very even between these two. At the early levels, neither of them can threaten the other or get aggressive in their own right. They have to wait for help elsewhere. So it's just going to be a heads-up matchup between the two. Everybody just farming.
Especially with Thompson going for this Meteor Hammer build early on, right? He gets a Ring of Health and he's sitting at 11 regen, not even underneath his tower. When he goes under his tower, he gets to like 13. So any trades that he is taking up against the Ember Spirit here is always going to go in his favor, because he just has naturally high regen and now he has a Ring of Health. So it's going to be pretty straightforward, and I'd imagine that, you know, once you start getting a few more of these levels, that's when Seb's going to make his rotation. Really wants to try and enable Rezo in this lane, because if Rezo gets kind of shut down, then it's going to be hard for them to try and out-team fight D2 Hustlers, because, you know, you touched on it before, Ravage, Static Storm, Undying, just everything they can use is going to be hard for them to team fight.
Divine Llama almost found himself getting brought down. They're looking for revenge onto no one. But Divine Llama, only level 2, doesn't have access to the Gush. You just have to watch no one get back into the lane. No one fairly low on the HP pool. Divine Armor does have his own ring of health right now, so he can sustain for a lot longer of a time. And Resolution almost dies in the top lane. Tombstone dropped down for this one, but not going to be enough to get the burst out. Still though, the ultimate objective is achieved. Create space for Yuma to keep farming. And Resolution, look at the CS, dude. Rezo is getting nothing out of this game. 7 CS early on in the game right now. Has not been an easy time for him in the top lane. As it's not going to be easy down bottom. Divine Armor, the offlaners are struggling. He's about to lose his life once the Aphotic Shield pops. And indeed it goes down. That's going to be a quick kill. Theoloco looking for revenge back onto no one. Unfortunately, looking like he's unlikely to find that. And instead it's his life that gets sacrificed on the altar of the abandoned success. As he finds a double kill in this bottom lane. Putting himself in a very good position as Rubik just goes for the quick deny.
Yeah, same with no one. He wanted to just get the reset. You know, you're that low HP, you're that low mana. You can't really do all too much. The Rezo potential death slash escape was an absolute pucker up. That was very, very close. Rezo was holding his magic wand to the last moment and was able to live from the decay. So he's doing okay to live, I think, is the biggest thing. And whenever you're playing in the offlane and you're having a rough time, you look to see at the enemy offlaner. He's died twice, and they killed Theolacor as well. So I think Rezo's just like, yeah, I'm having a rough lane, but I'm playing against Dirge Terrorblade. Like, it's gonna be okay. I can come back with, you know, Shockwave as well as the Empower.
Also made the Undying's life a bit more difficult by killing off his courier. They might kill Seb for this. He gets glimpse back after the leap, and there's more than enough damage thanks to that glimpse to kill him. Rezo in a little bit of danger now as well. Reflection is out onto him. There's no glimpse, so if he can skew in a decent angle, he should be safe. Doesn't even need it in the end. Hakoda, with his courier being denied earlier by Seb, he lost out on access to having an observer ward, so they can't use the space to get more advanced vision. So Small's play ends up cascading positively for them. Still though, very nicely done. Mid lane, Adzensic does have level 6, so even though Kitrak is coming over, I doubt they can find a kill off the back end of this.
Yeah, I like the rotation from Theolacor. I think they understand that this bottom lane is going to be a little bit of a lost cause, but after seeing the movement from Theolacor, I like that Kitrak has decided to put himself towards this the mid lane, because I mean, Tide versus Abaddon in a straight 1v1, the Abaddon's going to be okay with everything that's going on. So if they're able to find something else on the other lanes, then really enable like Rezo as well as Dobson here. But Huss is doing a good job so far.
Very good job. Divine Lama also doing a decent job of finding a very juicy creep wave. And there's no way Kitrak can deny many of these. Earthbound on the top lane, Seb might find himself brought down here. Dies before he could even think about leaping out of the kinetic field. So with his life being brought down, it draws Kitrak over to that side of the map. So they really do leave the 1v1 of Abaddon versus Tide. They want to try and stop this push here, because Metamorphosis has been popped by Yuma. They want to try and utilize it to get as much damage onto the tower as possible post the kill. They drop down the Tombstone now, looking towards Resolution. They do not have another glimpse available. They just got it back. They just got it back. Rezo might still live through this, but Hakoda chasing him down. One more decay. Won't be enough to kill him, but enough to dissuade him from coming back into the lane. They have wasted a lot of time, though, from the Metamorphosis, so Yuma and the boys will not be able to connect onto the Siege Dragon to bring down the Tier 1 tower.
Yeah, Yuma's not going to be able to get the Tier 1 tower, but they're pulling a lot of attention, right? Like, Old G, now they've put both of their supports towards the top lane. Rezo's still struggling, whereas you see now Divine Lava, the fact that he has this 1v1, he shouldn't really be at threat of ever dying now that he's getting close to his own Meteor Hammer, but on the side of Rezo, like, there's always going to be threat of him dying if he ever plays bad up against the Disruptor.
Speaking of the threats of death, we have one middle, Thompson. Adzensic was thinking about trying to run him down. Didn't want to dive behind the tower, even though they had the dust out. Theolacor was nearby, does have access to the glimpse, and Thompson, let's see if he's flown too close to the sun on this one. Theolacor really looking for the glimpse, but they're not going to attempt it just yet. Everyone just happy to poke and prod for now. The Haste Rune is available for Adzensic on this Ember Spirit, so they might try to use it to try to get a kill. They're going to pop it for the mid lane. Kitrak, a much easier target than the Riki. And with the Sleight of Fist combo, they should be able to get this kill. Okay, up and down for Adzensic, but now he's out of Remnants. So we'll see if he can get himself out of trouble here. Just got one replenished. Get some Searing Chains out onto Seb as he has lost the Theolacor. So 1-1 trade happening in this mid lane here. And they'll take it on the side of D2 Hustlers. Anything to involve Adgentic more and more into the game.
Yeah, he slightly missed the angle of his. Oh, he cancels the TP.
Oh, Thompson, God. He might die for this though. The Core is coming back. Yeah, he's actually dead. Hashtag not worth. Not worth.
He's gonna
He
get
got the really cool play, but at what cost? Well, the cost is also going to be the life of the Ember Spirit. Yuma forced to come over as well. Will he actually get out of this? There's no way. Yuma gets the kill. But Thompson not only cancels the TP, but he cancels the life of the Ember as well through this mid lane. Alright, very well done by the Ricky. Divine Lama should die for this though. I think he's dead, right? Surely? Divine?
He's pretty tanky.
Oh my god.
They need the pop and the Aphotic Shield.
Gets lifted back. There's the Aphotic Shield getting moved. Divine Lama still alive for now. Will eventually get walked down. That took a while.
Yeah, they just needed the extra magic damage, right? Like, as soon as the Anchor Smash goes down onto the Ori Aphotic Shield is no one, then he's basically just tickling him. So they just wanted the Aphotic Shield to pop, and they just needed the Fade Bolt. But getting the kill there onto Davai Lama is exactly what they needed to do. Yuma, though, is having a very, very good start here on the Terror Blade. So he's getting to a point where he's starting to become strong. It's a very, very good BKB game for him as well. Does have to be very careful about being RP'd, but as long as they're playing around him with a lot of these teamfight spells, the counter initiation from D2 Hustlers can be strong.
They actually pop the Metamorphosis with Yuma, so he's gonna have to use this as a farming tool, see how much he can get. In the meantime, Theoloco is trying to getting run down by Thompson, but Kinetic Field, decent enough spell, keeps him alive for now.
And it was close. Thought maybe that Thompson was going to be able to stick on top of the Theoloco, but it seems like he wasn't able to get close enough with the tricks of the trade that they.
Thompson might die, actually. He gets dragged back through the glimpse. They do dust him up. He blink strikes away onto the catapult to stay alive. And unfortunately, Adzentic did not have access to the searing chains, both on cooldown, and he lacked the mana to make the combination. So that's 3 heroes that get dragged towards middle to deal with this. That means yet again, Divine Lama is in danger down in the bottom lane. He will die for this, as we do have a rotation coming in from Seb. So very nice kill onto Divine Lama. And they might decide him and Kitrak to head towards the mid lane. They're both carrying smokes. They really want to help out Thompson and create space enough so he can actually use the Meteor Hammer onto the tower itself. I mean, he's bought the Meteor Hammer, but look at this here, Fluke. Tier 1 tower middle, literally still untouched. 100% HP available here.
Yeah, nice and crispy. He's been using it to try and set up for some kills and just pushing out the wave as well. It's kind of one of the issues that Ricky has, is his wave clear is very, very slow. So the fact that he has this Meteor Hammer now means that he can try and punish anytime Adzentic wants to try and go anywhere else. He will cancel. Oh, I thought he was going to cancel the TP.
So now they want to try to go for this kill onto Seb in the top lane. Kinetic field down, you can't skewer out. Will he get out of this? No way, he's actually going to survive. Seb, resolution. I just threw Magnus in the game and Seb is in the game and my mind goes to Seb, you know?
I don't blame you. Divine Lama, oh, I've seen this story before.
Dude, have mercy. Oh, gee, he's just a melon. Come on. This is so unfair. Does manage to survive, but he's on such low HP right now, he's going to have to just wait by the tier 1 tower. Oh, he actually gets jumped on by Seb. The Starstorm not going to be enough damage to bring him down. So now Seb, we'll see if he gets punished for this one. They do force out the Tombstone drop. Assistance is coming in from the Ember Spirit as well. No Seb, no one have TP'd out just yet. So Adzentic could try to get the punish here. Throws forth the Remnant. Looking for the slide combo, will be able to find it on the Marana, and the Kitty is gone. So a successful rotation from Adzentic. Let's see if he can get more out of this. They have managed to just force back this Abaddon. Erstwhile in the mid lane, Thompson, he might actually also get punished for this one as well. He tries to make the jump onto Theoloco. Not enough damage to kill him heads up. The Blink Strike will do the trick, but it might cost him his life. 2 more hits from Yuma is all he needs, but he loses vision. Oh no.
And he's getting
to throw insult to injury, he throws the meme hammer down. What a player. In the meantime, down bottom, first Ravage forced out of the game. Adzentic combos up with Divine Lama to get the kill onto no one. Kitrak might fall next, as Yuma has also made his presence known. Popping in with the meta and the illusion damage. Fighting happening all across the map. Thompson very happy with it from the mid lane perspective, but for D2 Hustlers, they'll be happy to get a carry kill as well as a tier 1 tower in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Yuma is absolutely swimming in it right now. He is having a fantastic game. One of the most active Terrorblades I've seen so far, and I like that D2 Hustlers are not shying away from a challenge. Static Storm on Thompson in the mid lane. He has tricks, so he's okay. But I really do like that D2 Hustlers are not shying away from any of these fights. They're getting a lot of TPs coming in. One cool thing that we saw with that when they tried to kill the Vilama underneath the tier 1 tower was that Hakoda dropped the tombstone and actually blocked the arrow from one of the zombies. So that was actually a really sick play to keep the Vilama, and that eventuated in them getting a kill on the tower.
Might find a kill onto Seb now as well, as I think he is definitely done for this world. He gets taken away. And Hakoda's coming in from the back end as well, potentially looking to try aggress onto Thompson. And Thompson has made himself known. He jumped onto the high ground. There's the 2 hero chains, and here drops down the tombstone from Hakoda. Thompson in danger. Resolution glimpse back before he can even think about popping the RP, leaving his allies all alone. Thompson will die inside this kinetic field. Smoke screen not going to help him out too much. Kitrak joining him in the grave, and D2 Hustlers playing with a very decent pace right now. Resolution came in to help, but all he could do was drop the mech, couldn't actually contribute to the team fight.
Yeah, it's actually been a blistering pace being set here by D2 Hustlers. Yuma has been involved in literally everything right now. He's going to get very, very close to a Manta at 15 minutes into the game. He's going to have Dragonlance and Manta before you're even starting to have hopes and dreams of a Blink Dagger for Rezo. And no one right now is getting closer towards the Radiance, but we saw in the previous game that Abaddon still needs a few more items after the Radiance to be the scary hero. Yola goes, found Seb.
They found Seb, but he might come out into a static storm. Thompson needs to be careful. He's been dusted up. Adjensec trying to bring down this Murano. Not going to be able to do so just yet. Hakoda jumps in the fray with the Flesh Golem. Just trying to create space for this moment in time. There's going to be the 2 hero searing chain. The combo from Yuma. RP does catch on the 3 heroes, but it's not going to be effective at winning them the team fight. They have lost Disruptor though, but they are 1 offlaner down, and now the mid hero is also in danger. They're first going to take a detour for bringing down this Rubik, as they don't have enough reveal to bring down Thompson. He will drop a meme hammer in their faces to rub insults into injury. But nonetheless, they've lost 2 heroes. They can now pressure the tower because they still have Metamorphosis for a decent time, and they have a Siege Dragon. And I don't think Thompson wants to show himself again here. With a, oh, they still don't have reveal. He can do what he wants. This is actually hilarious to watch.
They got no dust, there's no sentries, they utilized all of it before, and now no one's making his way over. This is going to be an interesting fight for Old G.
Alright, Meme Hammer onto 2. Can they actually get this kill before the Thunder comes out? Yes, they can. Yuma down for the count. Ravage did emerge from Adjensec, but it's not going to be good enough to salvage the fight, nor will it be good enough to salvage his life, as he ends up going down. Old G reading a moment of weakness. They click on the inventories and they realize there's no vision control. And that Meteor Hammer, if there's a sentry nearby and they can interrupt him getting off the Meteor Hammer, suddenly Yuma has access for a Sunder. They can turn that fight, but for want of dust, for want of sentries, Old G find themselves able to stabilize the situation on the map.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to have to get to a point here where Old G need to try and stabilize it and not keep bleeding these kills out, and I think that was a perfect opportunity for them to do it. As you said, just kind of understanding the separation that they needed, and you can see the difference from what we saw in the previous game from PO into No One this time around, right? Like, he understood that he needs to hit this Radiance timing. He finds himself a pretty easy fight to come into. He walks in, gets himself a kill onto Yuma, walks out. Now he's got a whole boatload of gold sitting in his back pocket, and this is where you're going to be able to see the Abaddon really start to ramp up. Like, the Terrorblade, yes, is a very, very fast farmer, but once the Abaddon gets, you know, his own Manta style, he'll be able to just constantly push all these waves through. It's really going to be on Adjensec to see if he can deal with the split push that's going to come in from No One. They are still in a very, very good position here, are D2 Hustlers. Their Terrorblade is in a very, very good spot, but I think maybe they might be looking towards a few more of these stat items, maybe towards the early BKB here for Yuma.
Smoke up from the side of Old G. They get themselves a Coda first and foremost. They had a sentry down though, so they'll look for the escape. An Observer Ward is scouting out Yuma, but they don't have a blink just yet on Rezo. No blink on Kitrak. They can't close the gap onto the Terrorblade. We'll just take over this area. Still looking to threaten a little bit. Thompson trying to find out anybody who's isolated in the back. Kitrak throwing in some searching arrows. And they get the Moonlight Shadow as well. So they really want to take this fight while it's still 4v5. Hakoda though is about to return. And they find the Ember Spirit. Adjensec does not have BKB just yet, so he will end up falling. There's a 4 hero Static Storm Kinetic Field combination, but there's no follow-up. 15 seconds off of Ravage. Yuma is not in position to throw in the right clicks. So OG just playing to their strengths right now. They're still exploiting the relative lack of vision. They come across this Undying. Will he end up dying here? In DT will. He just came back to life as well. And now Glimpse back, trying to protect his own life. This Theolico not going to be able to do so. Thompson on this Ricky, just playing very far forward with this Meteor Hammer Diffuser Blade and D2 Hustlers. It's one thing to know he's coming, it's another thing if you know how to stop it. And so far, they're proving unable to contain the little stealth assassin.
Yeah, sometimes invisibility is invulnerability, and Thompson is just abusing the fact that they had to spend so many of their resources to deal with him in the first like 15 minutes, and now he's just like, they're going to be out of sentries for one, because they are a limited stock, and not everyone can keep buying dust. And you can also see that Seb is understanding this as well, going in towards the Lotus Orb early on. If you're able to just get that Lotus Orb on the Thompson, he's going to have relatively free reign of a lot of these team fights as long as you can clear out your own vision. And it's just old G just understanding the kind of timings that they hit, right? They understand that the Ricky with the Diffuser Blade and the Meteor Hammer build is very, very strong. All their spells are super strong too. Like Kitrak, still Ravage in that previous fight as well.
Dude, look at this Ricky go. Thompson might get punished for this one though. They are going to be going in with the Ravage, and they do manage to bring him down. However, it comes at the cost of giving away Ravage to Kitrak. So the Rubik has access to the spell. Doesn't have a Blink Dagger or a Force Staff yet, but those can come in time. One thing that I found very interesting as well is Ricky's been the primary Empower target. Whenever Rezo can, he's giving it to the Ricky. It's a surprising amount of damage inside Tricks of the Trade, with both the damage buff as well as the cleave.
Yeah, because it's 36% on the damage that Ricky does, and then Ricky gets the agility increase from Tricks of the Trade, and then he gets the backstab multiplier as well. So Tricks of the Trade's going to, especially Theolicor, I think he's going to get like only a few hits and he's going to die. And inside that diffuser window pre-4 staffs, like it's just going to be so hard for D2 Hustlers if they don't catch the Ricky, much like they did in that previous fight. If they don't catch him out in his aggressive movements, then he's going to assassinate one person and then just get a blink strike out.
We're getting close to some power spikes for D2 Hustlers, but unfortunately for them, Roshan is being taken, and they do not have any tools to scout this one out at the moment, so it will be going for free. And I guess without Ravage, they don't feel uber comfortable fighting into this area. So they're gonna give this one presumably to Thompson, as no one still has access to the borrow time for himself. Let's see, who gets the Aegis? Yeah, Thompson, there we go.
Yeah, I could have seen an argument for giving it to no one as well, and you can kind of just face smash into some of these tier 2 towers. Then you can just have Thompson playing behind them and in the out of the vision, and then just try and get, you know, if you get one pick, then it's just going to transition into a tower or even into 2 picks, and then you just kind of check off all the spots on the map and try and find Yuma in his farming patterns as well, because he's building in towards the Skadi, so he's going to be tanky, but he's still not going to be safe from, you know, Ricky Cloud and Telekinesis and even the Stolen Ravage. So if they're ever able to find the Terrorblade or even push Terrorblade into the unsafe parts of the map, then that's when they can just kind of abuse this time that they've got right now, where D2 Hustlers were starting to make a comeback, but old G just kind of kicked it up a gear.
Speaking of kicking it up a gear, they find Theolico. He will reveal the Blink Dagger on Resolution. There's no buyback available on this Disruptor, so they'll just allow him to stay dead, put some presence onto the tier 2 tower in the top lane. But now they do know to be careful for the Blink Ravage, or the Blink RP rather. Blink Ravage is still coming in time, as Kitrak not there just yet. They really want to use this Ravage before it expires, but they've weathered the storm on D2, they've dodged it out. And I guess the name of the game right now is just dodge, right? Don't fight them, wait until you have BKB on Terrorblade. He's almost got Skadi, but he's actually holding a lot of gold here. What do you think? Do you think he's waiting to decide if he needs BKB right now over and above the Skadi?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a choice of if he's being forced to fight right now or whether or not he can kind of greed out a little bit for the Skadi, and it seems like he is going for the Skadi this time around. They're doing a pretty good job at just kind of cutting some waves and stuff, but oh no, they found out an extra.
Bye-bye.
See you later, Hakoda.
Managed to try to aggress onto them in the triangle. Oh no, Arrow caught out onto Adzentic. They know that the Ember Spirit is stunned up. Can they silence him in time? Yes, they can. He doesn't have his BKB just yet, and he's carrying the gem. Sleep Dog will be there. Can they get him out of dodge? No, they cannot. He will end up losing his life. Gem drops the deck as well, and they want to keep this chase going. Who managed to retrieve it? It's on the Undying. Tombstone is going to be the priority right now for OG. We'll see if they want to re-engage this on the side of D2 Hustlers. Static Storm back up in 5 seconds. Oh man, what a time to be alive. That arrow from Seb He had no vision of the high ground, Fluke. He just had a read that there's an important hero right there, and he manages to catch him out as well.
You miss every shot that you don't take. And even if you're just throwing an arrow for vision, sometimes it can connect. And the biggest thing now is D2 Hustlers, they pop the Metamorphosis, and it just means that old G, they just cut a few more of these waves. Maybe they get a free Seb kill.
Oh no, they're going for Theoloco and Divine Armor. Okay, forced off away. They are keeping him alive, Static Storm down. No one is the only one caught out in this, and unfortunately the illusions can still run down Theoloco. They do not have to care about being silenced, and there's going to be the RP. Agency according to the Meteor Hammer as well. There'll be a Ravage. They attempt to save him right now, and they have the damage out. It's going to be good enough to kill Thompson. He's still alive somehow. First life gone thanks to the right click from Yuma. Will they be able to grab the second? They don't have the Ravage available. Steering chains will be there. The Sunder does come out. Okay, interesting. So Yuma just watches as he jumps out. They're just trying to let him know, hey man, don't take this fight. Just go home. He says okay.
By the way, I still have Sunder. It still is an ability. I have leveled it. Just so you know. So, again, you can just see that old G, they are just forcing out resources from D2 Hustlers, right? Because they know that D2 Hustlers is very, very hard for them to fight without cooldowns. Like, they don't have Ravage, they don't have Static Storm, and they don't have Metamorphosis. So that's 3 big cooldowns for them that even if they do get their BKBs in this window, they can't fight. So they just take the last tier 2 tower, they're just going to smoke up, try and get themselves another fight going. And then once they start getting some more of these pickoffs, you start to stamp the Terrorblade down. No one has just been free farming this entire time. And then you just start taking these tier 1, tier 2 towers and try and close out this map one.
Beautiful scan, catches out the Ember Spirit as well as Yuma in the top lane. They miss out Adzentic, so the Ember is gone. Gone for dodge, no way. That TP, maybe if he'd manted beforehand, forced the guessing game out, but not going to end up happening. He will lose his life in the top lane. Yuma goes down, does not have buyback. They do not have a Roshan to go pick up after this. But they keep just getting pick after pick after pick all across the map. And slowly but surely, this Yuma TP is no longer feeling like the most dangerous hero on the map here, Fluke. He's going to have some hard work to do. And oh no, combo again. Atten 6 still doesn't have BKB. It's flying in right now. He needs to get out of here. But Thompson will not allow him to do so. Very unlucky to die literally while the courier is en route. That is the saddest thing in the world.
Yeah, you really do hate to see it. I think D2 Hustlers did a really good job in the first 10-15 minutes, but right now you can just see the power of this Ricky, and he just kind of is able to freely find people. And I know there's probably a lot of people in Twitch chat right now that are just like losing to a Ricky, a Mega LOL, these guys don't even know how to buy vision, but the amount of sentries and dust and everything that you need to find somebody who is just literally just perma running around the map is oh so hard. And right now D2 Hustlers, they're trying their best to stay in this game, but I think they kind of just need like a big mistake coming in from old G. Maybe if they dive like tier 4s or something and Yuma can get a few more of these kills, get to BKB, he can start to be a scary hero again, but no one's hit that power spike, man. He's got Blinkmancer as well as the Radiant, so this is his I'm going to jump on a support and kill them build.
Yep. Unfortunately, they lack the punch to kill some of these more elusive heroes, like the Ricky, Magnus at this stage, or the tankier ones like this Abaddon. It's getting problematic, especially with this GG boots on resolution. And now that they're playing this style of just holding the map, we need to see a big play coming out of D2 Hustlers. They have all their ultimates online. We'll see what kind of jump they can make. Thompson rolling to the north of them, but he's separated from the team somewhat. So if they can catch some of these heroes in the mid lane, they might be having a little bit of a luckier initiation. Unfortunately, the hero that's showing is not the hero you want to jump on the Abaddon. So they actually end up in a situation here, Fluke, where they're the ones playing underneath some Radiant damage. They're forced to very quickly get a D-ward, but there's still an outpost to worry about. And OG is chilling. They don't mind. They're like, alright, y'all wanna play away from us? Cool. We'll Moonlight Shadow. We'll just push out this bottom lane. We don't really have a care in the world right now.
Yeah. Oh, they just found another. Alright, see you later, code up. It was, yeah, they smoked out his 5. They were hoping to try and run into somebody. They ran into some illusions. Thompson just killed the top wave and then went back towards the base of D2 Hustlers, and they just couldn't find him. They were under vision as soon as their smoke broke, and that was it.
Oh god, look at this. The hero that they killed as well, Hakoda, at the time was carrying the gem. So
they get it back, or did they lose it?
It looks like they got it back on Adzentic. Yeah, they got it back on Adzentic.
Okay.
He grabbed it very quickly. Make sure that it's not just lost to the winds of time. But still, the fact that wherever this gem isn't, any of these supports is liable to die. That's probably why Theoloco is just sitting on the high ground. He's like, I have to stay in range of the tier 3 tower. It's the only way I don't just instantly get popped by this Riki.
Yeah, and that's the annoying part is they're behind in net worth and they don't want to have to be holding hands, but they kind of have to, right? Because, you know, now Thompson's got this Manta style, so he's got even more stats on top of that, that if he ever catches out any of these heroes kind of by themselves and in an awkward spot, he can just go down. So now old G. I'm going to try and get the kill here on Divine Llama.
Yeah, poor Llama gets caught out. Okay, he's tanky enough now that he doesn't heads up die. So he gets to live.
Okay.
The Watermelon proving his value in the team. And I'm sure that they're very grateful for the fact that it's a long respawn time on Roshan. I mean, very slowly but surely and quite quietly, old G have amassed a 10k gold lead. Yuma, the only person that's still in contention here to really compete against them. We still have some catch-up being required from the Ember Spirit, although Agentic does have BKB now. So he can actually finally play Dota again. For a while, it felt like he was written off in this game, just getting smoke screened into the drag back into death, but now the only thing that should kill him is the RP. So maybe he can bait out an RP or two for his team and allow them to re-engage afterwards.
Yeah, he feels like he can play the game until no one bashes his head in with the basher or the Abyssal Blade that's going to come in soon. And this is kind of what old G were doing. They were just kind of running around it as 4 heroes with Tops and Rezo just sticking with the 2 supports while no one was literally just mowing through the map, right? Like he was just going through all the different creep camps. He was able to get the tier 1, tier 2 towers as well. And now old G, the only real objective they've got left on the map is Roche in a minute and a half. So they get a big pick here. This could almost be it.
Smoke as well as the Moonlight Shadow coming in. They don't have the Ember Spirit, although he does have a Remnant nearby in case the fight breaks out. Hakoda will be the first one to draw a death. Doesn't have buyback, so can't re-engage quickly. No one hit by the Searing Chain. Not a great target. And there's the RP. They've got themselves onto Adventic. No opportunity for the BKB. He just loses his life. Divine Llama attempting to TP out. The Skewer puts paid that idea as he gets taken down as well. 3 heroes fall inside the Radiant Jungle. The gem this time around will not be recovered, as they've got Snake Eyes on old G. The only survivors of this fight being the Disruptor and the TB, both of whom are not really present for the fight. And I say that, but Disruptor might just be joining his team inside the fountain as they come on top of him with this Abaddon of no one, burning him down with their Manta Illusions. 14k net worth lead. Yuma has enough gold for BKB, but also needs buyback. He needs a team to play around with as well. So just feeling so rough. And he actually chooses not to buy the BKB. Goes and says, okay, wait, there it is. Alright. He was thinking about it. Do I go BKB? What's happening? Aren't you glad you can disassemble items, man?
Yeah, I mean, disassemble some items. It would be... I really wish you could disassemble all items. So maybe some items would be a little broken if you could disassemble everything. But I guess maybe that's just me. A little bit slow hands, and sometimes I buy stuff and I'm like, damn, I really do not want this anymore. Like, why did I buy this? But either way, it's what they've got now. Yeah, this game is slowly starting to, I mean, very quickly starting to get out of control for D2 Hustlers. You can just see how instantaneous no one's able to blow somebody up, but that's even without the Riki. He doesn't even need to be invisible. He just needs to blink on top of people. He's actually going for his own BKB here. I thought maybe no one was gonna kind of just go for like a full Abyssal build and just kill the Ember Spirit even through his BKB, because that feels like it's the only lifeline for D2 Hustlers. Maybe if they get a big catch here. They don't have a blink on the Tide Hunter though. It's gonna be hard for them to catch anybody, and they really don't want to go on no one.
Yeah, this is the second time that they've smoked and found themselves only no one on the front lines. Very frustrating. And he got his BKB before the courier died. So he's even less of an attractive target right now. Honestly, until they get Aghanim Scepter and Disruptor, BKBs legitimately make no one immortal. And they're gonna try force a fight. They're inside the Roshan pit with the Riki and the Abaddon. They know there's no BKB available on the Tide Hunter. There's no Force Staff, Blink either, only the one. So they put the smoke screen on top of them, make it a lot harder to make this a good engagement. Arrow again! Are you kidding me? BKB forced out Hero of Agentic, but he's taking too much damage from the Abaddon. The Basher comes in as well. And that is one dead Ember Spirit. The fight will continue though. Static Storm dropped down. Yuma putting in these right clicks after the Manta Illusions come out. I'm not able to bring down any specific hero just yet. Really wants to try go for Seb, but here comes Thompson on the back end looking for this disruptor. We'll be able to find him with the tips of the trade. Blink strike combination. Ravage will catch him in the face though, and the right clicks will eliminate the first fight. Resolution hasn't been able to get off an RP just yet, but the Ravage on the back end, stolen by Kitrak, sets up for the skewer RP combination, and 5 heroes will be wiped from the map. It turns out the answer to good team fight is to just steal their team fight, use it for yourself. And OG have just set themselves up to win game number 1 here, Fluke. Is there anything D2 Hustlers can do after a fight loss like that one?
Take this time to figure out what they're going to do in game number 2. That's what they should be doing right now. Yeah, I thought that fight was going to go pretty well for them. Unfortunately for Theolical, I'm pretty sure he saved no one. No one's borrow time was running out. He didn't have BKB. He was directly on top of Yuma, and then he got glimpsed back to kind of safety, where nobody really was waiting around, and then so Yuma couldn't really utilize the rest of his BKB to try and take down no one. Maybe if they got a kill on no one, that might have been a decent fight for them, but as soon as the fight started to drag on and Thompson came in with his second life, Reza was still holding on to the RP, that it just got to a point where there was too many resources being committed by D2 Hustlers that didn't get enough done.
Adzentic trying to get a deep push in the mid lane while they just quickly bring down Divine Llama. It's 2 lanes of Rax right away. They don't have access to an Aegis anymore, so they might not want to complete the full push, but they've gotten the lion's share of what they came for. 28 gold lead, 35 kills. D2 Hustlers. Man, that's really frustrating. Adzentic still not really able to play with this BKB positively in the fight. He gets it off when he's already at about half HP, immediately gets bashed thereafter. This Terrorblade can't use his BKB properly in the fight either. Gets out a lot of damage, yeah, but they just lack the catch to hold these heroes in position long enough to fly out this damage. And D2 Hustlers, the next fight, it's not like the life gets any easier for them, right? This Abaddon is gonna get stronger. He's just finished the Abyssal Blade, so he's more difficult to kill. You still have BKB, Blink, Guardian Greaves on the Magnus. Thompson has just picked up an Aghanim Scepter as well. Man, just life is hard right now.
Yeah, it's very, very hard. And this is kind of what I was harkening back to the draft a little bit here for D2 Hustlers, is they don't have a quick, concise way of catching the Riki consistently, right? Like, they have to rely on Ravage or Static Storm, big cooldowns to take down somebody like Riki, who has very short cooldowns to get away from stuff. So if he ever does dodge any of the stuff, then it's kind of game over. And you can even see the reason why the LG gave Thompson the Aegis as well multiple times. Not just only the fact that no one is practically immortal, but they need to use so much to kill him the first time that as soon as he comes back, he just comes in and destroys everybody. So LG will just get their free range tracks. They're just going to walk back, and I don't know if you want to try and force them to fight here. Maybe you should have just taken the them leaving and just dealt with that one.
Well, we're going to try to take the fight regardless. There's going to be a jump in. Stolen Ravage from Kitrak yet again. Catches 2 heroes. Tied onto the first one to go down. He buys back. Skewer onto Hakoda. They bring him right in the middle of the fray. RP. They bring down the Undying. He buys back. Will they get off the Ravage? Yes, they will. They find no one as well as Thompson, but the damage output from Yuma might not be enough. Thompson actually in a very mortal position. He will end up losing his life here. Adzentic caught out by the arrow. Thanks to Seb. And they will bring down the Ember Spirit. Does have buyback though. Yuma, however, standing strong in the middle of this fight. And they might be able to find both Seb and No One. No One with the Photic Shield trying to delay this as long as possible. Will ultimately end up dying. And so will Seb. So Yuma finds a double kill. Does cost several buybacks. Does cost a lane of Rax. But still, Yuma doesn't have to use his own buyback for this one. So that still stays in the cards. I don't know though. Is that going to be enough, Luke, to actually turn this game around? Or is it just a Pyrrhic victory at the end?
I think they're going to need that to happen like probably 1 or 2 more times, and maybe not have to commit 3 buybacks for it. They got a lot of gold out of it, yes, but they're still 28,000 gold behind. The probability has plateaued, so they aren't really going to be losing out anymore in this game, OG, but that was kind of just one of those fights where they wanted to leave the base, and then they got a glimpse back on no one, and OG were kind of like, we could probably just take this fight, right? They blow up the Tide Hunter, they get the buyback, he eventually gets Ravage off. Like, if Divine Llama dies twice without getting Ravage off, that's done. I'm pretty sure this is game over right there. They were actually able to allow Yuma to do the damage, so if that happens maybe 1 or 2 more times, and Yuma can get to a point where he's maybe got, you know, MKB plus Satanic, then he can start to stand and really deal a lot of damage. But I'd imagine the way that these next couple of fights are going with no buybacks, and now with Dealer Core dead, that it's just going to be OG doing what they did to start the last fight. But this time around, they have to contend with Omega Creeps as well.
TB does now have the MKB, so the impact of the Radiance Burn for him in these fights not going to be felt as starkly. Of course, there are illusions, so they don't necessarily get the full benefit out of this MKB. But okay, we see a drag back onto Divine Llama. They're trying to force this dieback. He is still alive for now. Kraken Shell keeps him alive for a moment longer, but he is gone. 75 seconds in the grave. No buyback. Hakoda gonna chase him into it. Also in a similar position. Now all of a sudden, both Yuma as well as Azentic have to try and hold. Azentic though, dodging out the RP from Resolution, outplaying the Magnus. That one play might have just kept the game alive right now. He still does have access to the buyback. Yuma's Illusions doing quite a lot of work here. The Wraith Pact doing its thing on the behalf of OG to ensure that the damage from the TB isn't going to immediately win this game. But they are still fighting. Azentic will eventually end up getting brought down. Does buyback. They don't want to go for no one too soon. They want to make sure that this borrow time ends up expiring. Resolution goes in. Horn toss onto Yuma. Yuma's still alive. Abyssal Blade prevents him from getting off the Sunder. And he doesn't have buyback. 145 gold. No buyback. They call it GG. Well played. D2 Hustlers. They made it entertaining at the very end. They took some